Audio lecture on how to do an AP Euro DBQ. On the AP test essay portion, which includes the DBQ and the LEQ, this is how it's organized. First of all, you will be given a 15-minute reading period to look over the essay questions and to plan. Most of this time should be spent on your DBQ, looking over the documents and doing the document analysis, doing your CAP sourcing for your documents. Although you can do the LEQ or the DBQ first, it is best if you start with the DBQ, so you use that reading time appropriately. You can do well with minimal outside information with the DBQ, using the documents as your primary resources to answer the prompt. You can use more than the suggested 45 minutes if you have not used the entire 15 minutes on your reading period. In other words, they give you 60 minutes on a DBQ, 15 of which is suggested to be the reading portion, and 45 minutes that is supposed to be the writing portion. If you finish doing your document analysis in 10 minutes, you can go ahead and start writing your essay. If you want to take a little bit longer on the document analysis, more than 15 minutes of reading time, you can, but remember that takes time away from writing your essay. So try to stay within that 15 minutes of the reading time so you have the full 45 minutes to write. Then after you finish the DBQ, then go to work on your LEQ. All right, let's talk a little bit about the DBQ when it comes to breaking it up and how you should approach the different sections of the essay. First of all, the introduction, meaning the introductory paragraph. This is just like on the LEQ. This is where you are going to provide your context for the essay by describing relevant events or developments that contextualize the entire essay. Okay, zoom out and give your contextualization. You then need to, at the last part of the introductory paragraph, you should create a clear thesis statement that answers all parts of the question and does not just restate the prompt. In other words, you are to establish a line of reasoning that will basically break down how you are going to argue this essay in the rest of your body paragraphs. Okay, so establishing a line of reasoning that sets up the rest of your essay, sets up your body paragraphs. Focus on the question at hand. There is no need for flowery language or an attention getter, just the facts. Body paragraphs. Now it says here 3 to 5 body paragraphs is standard, though you can do more or less to fit the question. I really think that if you stick to 3 good paragraphs, you should be in good shape. Sometimes you could even do 2 good body paragraphs, but it's better to do 3, okay? Each body paragraph should have 7 to 10 sentences in it. If you are actually supporting your evidence well, you'll probably have more than that, but that's general rule of thumb. And if you do only 3 body paragraphs, they better be strong paragraphs, okay? Hunker down, there's a lot to accomplish in these body paragraphs. The body paragraphs. First of all, they should have clear topic sentences. Remember, you have established a line of reasoning in your thesis statement, so use that line of reasoning to help you form your topic sentences at the beginning of each of your body paragraphs. Use all or all but one of the documents as you write your body paragraphs as evidence to support your thesis, support your line of reasoning in your thesis. Incorporate sourcing on at least 4 documents, preferably 5 just in case. We will talk about how to do this in later slides and also in class. Outside evidence point, you use at least one piece of specific evidence from outside the documents to support your thesis. This is different from the contextualization in your introduction, which has to do with setting the scene for your essay and is focused on broad developments. This outside evidence is something that is missing from the documents that you know from your content knowledge that you could use to buttress your argument and your thesis. And of course, the conclusion paragraph after your body paragraphs. You should restate your thesis statement, but a bit differently maybe. You might do a better job in writing your thesis in the conclusion than you did in your intro, and readers will look here as well to make sure that you have established a line of reasoning. Impact your essay with synthesis if you can. This will help you to earn that complexity point. Sometimes if you can make a connection to another geographic area that this same theme is happening in, or a different time period, that can help corroborate your essay. You can also explain the connection. When you do this, you actually have to explain. You can't just drop a reference and hope the reader knows what you're talking about. You actually have to make a real reference. Sourcing, of course. Sourcing, this is where your evidence points come in your body paragraphs. So sourcing is like looking under the hood of the document, what's going on behind the scenes, like the cap sourcing that we do on our DBQ analysis charts in class. In other words, you have to go beyond what the document actually says and do the kind of thinking that a historian does about the kind of document it is and how to judge its usefulness for your argument in your essay. You need to do this for all of the documents, and this is what you will be doing during that reading period. So you will most likely use all 15 minutes of that time period. You have to learn to cap source fairly quickly. In addition to reading the documents for content, look carefully at what type of document it is. Who wrote it and why did they write it? That would be POV. When and where it was written. Note the documents are usually in chronological order, but they don't have to be. But this is why it's important to look at the source information first. Pay attention also to the position of the author and how this might influence the document. Of course, this is the point of view, the POV. What's the class of this person, the occupation, the religion, the nationality, the gender, the education level, the political affiliation, etc. You can also look at the author's intended audience or purpose. These can also influence the reliability of a document. Examples. Balthasar Rousseau, a Lutheran pastor, was naturally critical of Catholic priests because of the continuing dispute between Catholics and Lutherans in the Holy Roman Empire. Or Niccolo Machiavelli's book on the political tactics of a Renaissance prince was probably accurate as he observed the behavior of Italian leaders for many years. Or, since William Close was writing to the Queen, it's not surprising that he would say positive things about how she carried out her duties. Attribution. Always introduce your documents in your essay appropriately when using them. Like Baldassare Castiglione in the Handbook of the Courtier said, but you should not put it in quotes. You should just put it in your own words and say what he said in a brief sentence. And then you should always put document 4 or doc 4 in parentheses after it so the reader knows which document you're referring to. Even though you have given the author, it helps the reader do the check marks off on the rubric quickly. Same kind of thing next. Erasmus of Rotterdam, a northern Christian humanist, agreed with so-and-so by saying whatever, document 7. The 19th century historian Jacob Burckhardt wrote that ... document 3. Again, things not to do. Don't use the first or second person in your essay. Third person only. Don't exaggerate what a document says. The readers that work for College Board and grade these tests know the documents inside and out. You do not use more than a few quoted words, if any at all. I recommend don't use any at all, okay, because it's a bad trap to get into. The only time I would say that would be all right is if you were, say, quoting something by Louis XIV and you wanted to emphasize that he called himself the, quote, Sun King, or that he said, l'état c'est moi, I am the state. That would be something that would be okay, but it's not really necessary. So if you can avoid it, do. Quoting is bad. They want to know that you understand the actual document and can put it in your own words. Okay? Don't simply restate the prompt in your thesis. Actually give a line of reasoning to how you're going to approach the prompt, how you're going to answer the prompt, and what evidence you're going to use to support your argument. And don't worry about writing style, get to the point. Yes, you need to write coherently, but don't worry about flowery words. Get to the point, just facts in a history essay. If you do all of these things, congratulations, you've written a top-notch AP DBQ essay. And again, we'll talk more about these things in class.